Right, I am joined by Ash and Paul of pretty much an incredible band that I've only just discovered called Pinkshift. So first of all, guys, how are you?
We're good.
I'm well, chilling.
Cool.
Yeah. Happy.
Wonderful stuff. Now, I want to get on to Earthkeeper, which is the album that you have just dropped. And from what I've understood, you guys got placed in the sort of the pop punk resurgence recently. That's well, I say recently, it's been going on a while now. Um, but with Earthkeeper, you've kind of gone with a bit more of a heavier approach. Now, when you did this, did you feel this was where you wanted to take the band?
Um,
I don't think
it wasn't
sorry.
intentional.
Yeah.
I think we've always been very much just like true to how we feel in the moment. Like what serves the song, what serves the emotion, and how can we meet that with our skills. And on this record, I think we just had more skills. Like we had more of a range of skills. Um, like I have learned to control my voice in a lot of different ways. Paul's been picking up like baritone guitar. That's new for him. And Myron's been really getting into like actually like drumming like metal and hardcore like in a very serious way. And I think that we all kind of met each other at a moment and we're like, this is what we're into right now, and that's kind of like that's not how it always is. Like this is where our skills are, this is where what we're into, this is how we feel like we express ourselves best. So I think that's kind of like how this sound on this record also came about. It wasn't intentional.
It was just a natural evolution, which at the end of
Yeah.
the day works best, let's be honest. Now, I understand some from the things I've read that as a band, this sort of album actually sort of came from an experience lying under a redwood tree. Is that correct? Have I read that correctly?
Yeah, it was a really inspiring moment. Yeah.
Cool. Could you tell me a bit more about this experience? Because, I live in the UK. We don't really have these incredible, well, we have incredible forests, but not quite on to the degree of like being able to go and lie under a redwood tree. So can you sort of paint the picture a little bit for me? Because I've read it and it just sounded quite magical in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, like, we had never seen the redwoods before. They're a forest on, like, in like the Pacific Northwest of the US. So, like, California, Oregon, Washington, like that area. But Paul had always wanted to go to the redwoods.
I
We never
remember
had
on
to.
our first tour with Mannequin Pussy, prior to that, I could not shut up about wanting to visit the Redwood Forest, the Sequoia, and like National Sequoia Forest, just because I specifically wanted to see the General Sherman tree, which is the oldest tree in America. Um, to my knowledge, or like one of the oldest, like top two oldest, top three oldest trees. And that just um was just so profound and what like this really old time capsule of nature. I just wanted to see it. So we never actually got to see it until a couple years later in 2023. Um
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
we yeah,
We
oh go
had,
ahead.
because we finally had like a stretch of off days on a tour because we live on the East Coast. Like we live very far away from there. Um, so we can only really see it like if we go on tour and we have off days and it like aligns perfectly to have enough time to actually go into the woods. But we took a couple days and we were just in like Northern California. We're just like driving down like the Avenue of the Giants, and you just like stopped on the side of the road and just like walked into the trees, and it's just like I had never like been in an ancient forest, I think, before like that, the trees were so tall. If you were completely silent, you could hear them creaking in the wind, and it sounded like somebody walking up like a staircase in a house. Like that's how the trees sounded when they like were creaking. Like they would like, it was weird. It was like voices almost. And it wasn't like an experience that you had to necessarily like enhance whatsoever. Like it was, if you really like allowed yourself to just like immerse like in in the vibe of like your surroundings, it there was a very like, I don't know, it's a very potent energy, I think, about it. Um, it's the same kind of thing. Like there was one time where we stopped at Niagara Falls, and it's a huge tourist spot. I mean, there's so many people, but you just look into the falls and you're like, wow, I cannot believe this has been here for thousands of years, like this waterfall. And it's so grand and it just keeps going. And it's like so, it's like a force of nature, truly. And that's how the redwoods feel too. It's just like this tree has been here for so long. It's been through so many generations of people trying to cut it down, people like, you know, coming in here for shelter, people living here, people, you know, just like there's so many, it makes you feel a little bit smaller. It makes you feel like, oh, okay, the world is a lot bigger than just me.
Yeah.
Kind of moment. And like so we went into the woods, and there was like a big tree that was fallen. So it was fallen, so like the redwoods, their trunks are like huge. Like I feel like a fallen tree ground to top, just like the width is like 10 feet or something. Like it's crazy. Um and we climbed on top of it, and it was really soft. I feel like it had probably fallen a while ago. Like I don't know how long, but it was just like really, really soft. And like you just lie down and it's like, wow, this is more comfortable than any mattress I've ever slept on. Like this is so comfortable and it's so peaceful. And like, I don't know, like I feel like we just kind of like actually had a really intense moment of peace. Um, and it's kind of eye-opening to like truly feel, it's like meditating. It's like, oh, like I feel like I finally like see everything. And it's just it was also during, it was 2023, and I had just lost my grandmother, and that was, I guess, the first like real close personal loss I had experienced. um and like that I could understand, um and everything as an adult. And I felt like there was always this question, like, where'd she go though? Because like she's not gone. Like, where'd she go? Like, where do they go? Like, where do we go? You know? And it's just like a really intense question that I like really wanted the answers to for a while. And I think just looking up at the trees, I was like, oh, these trees, they kind of contain generations within them in a way. And you look up at the trees, and not only are they their own very, very stoic and like strong and so alive, like their own souls, but they also seem like they just know so much, like they've seen so much, like they carry so much with them. And I think looking up, I was like, there was just this feeling of there's a million souls here, and they're inviting me to stay here forever if I want to, but then I would have to choose, you know.
Yeah.
I have to choose. Like it's like a choice. Like you can stay here. We're welcoming you. And there was also just this feeling of like for now or forever, depending on how you carry yourself and depending on how you know, how you see this. Um, it felt like a conversation. It was weird. Like it's just like there's just such intense, like ancient energy. Um, in nature that has been preserved, you know. It's very special. And in that way, like nature is also very inspiring. And
Yeah.
generally, whenever we're on tour, like now we try to make nature stops, because it's the only place that actually feels like you can recharge, because nature will actually hold you. Um, you know, these man-made spaces in general, there's no third space without capitalism. Like there's
Yeah.
no third space that doesn't want something from you. But in nature, nobody wants anything from you. Nobody's taking anything from you. They're actually just allowing you to be there as long as you respect it. And I think that vibe was really, really carried into the whole record. Because it's a really profound idea.
Yeah.
Finding your place. Just like finding your place, finding a place where you belong, period, I think is hard. My cats are fighting.
That's I've had to shut my cats out, otherwise you would have just seen going across there. So I understand.
Yeah. But yeah. I guess that was kind of the spark in that moment that really like carried forward the creativity, like nurtured the creativity that I guess took place on the album.
I mean, the picture that you've just painted there does sound incredibly inspirational. I've got no musical talent, and just from what you've described, I'll be there going, I think I could do something. Wait a minute, I can't play an instrument or sing. So, but it is inspirational how you put that. It really is. Now, I do want to ask, my understanding of Earthkeeper is you've sort of described it as, trying to inspire people to give a fuck, basically, about themselves and the world. How important is this message to you, well, both of you personally?
It's imperative. I mean, if you don't stand up and if you don't take ownership for your own life, then you can't find meaning in it. I mean, right?
Yeah,
I think you are doing a disservice to not just the world around you, but the closest people that you hold dearest if you don't realize the way in which you love yourself, and the way in which you're there for yourself, so that you can also in turn support people um, around you that are grieving personal loss, that are going through the things that maybe this record touches, like grieving somebody who you've lost, whether it be through death or just going your separate ways, whether it be an angered state about um, current events, political situation, the genocide, all of that. Um, you have to. I feel like it's really important to be able to you obviously can't do it all in one day, but just to start acknowledging and recognizing that you yourself are a person with specific needs, but also a specific way that that you need to know how to love yourself and know who you are.
Yeah,
Just
I
so
was
that you
gonna
can be there
like,
for others. Yeah. So
huh?
sorry, Ashrita. Yeah.
Oh no, like what you're saying, I was gonna like piggyback off of that, but I wanted you to finish what you were saying first.
No, yeah, I was just saying that like it's not just about uh unfortunately it's not just about being there for others all the time. It's not just about giving a fuck about the situation around you. It's that work that is done to support others, to help others, is really starts with yourself. Because you need to be very strong, emotionally, spiritually, to really be present and active and be a strong support pillar for
Yeah,
whatever movement you decide to be part of.
definitely. I was gonna say, like in relation to that, there's so much suffering to be witnessed. Um, Especially like in this current day and age where you can literally witness anything and everything, um, by the convenience of your phone. Um, and I think that witnessing suffering is really painful for everyone on some kind of level. And the way that they choose to handle it says a little bit about, I guess, where they're coming from. Because it's like if you don't come from a place of healing, then you can't actually affect real change. You can't heal the world if you're not healed yourself. Um, I like what Paul was saying. Um, like, for example, there's a genocide happening. not only one genocide happening in Palestine, there's also the injustices in Sudan, the Congo. There's a lot of real injustice being done to human communities alone, not even just the world and life on earth. That violence is done every day already, but there's also real violence that is done to people. That violence is like, carried out by capitalism. It's carried out by these like big politicians. It's carried out by these forces that feel completely out of your control, and that is suffering. Like that really, really hurts. It really hurts when you feel like, oh well, I can't control that, but I see it every day. How do you deal with that? You know, how do you show up like for real? Like, how do you show up as your most authentic self? How do you give a fuck? How do you not get fatigued about activism? And I think the way to really show up for the world and for you, the people around you and your community, is by recharging yourself. You have to come from a place of love. My rage comes from a place of love. I have this inherent love for everybody because you're a person just like me, and I know how you feel. Like, I know how you feel when you're upset. I know how you feel when you're suffering. I know how you feel when you're like really happy. I know how you feel when something goes right. I know that, so I love you. And when something happens to take away your freedom to feel those things, I feel an intense rage in my heart, and that's where that comes from. I'm not going to let that rage take me down. I'm not going to let that rage debilitate me, because that rage comes from my love for you. And I think sometimes in punk, rage comes from a different place that is not regenerative.
I know what he's trying to say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a renewable resource. Like it comes from a place of like anger. And it comes, I mean, anger is good. Anger is important, but it has to come from a place of healing. It has to come from a place of love. It has to come from a place of like sympathy and empathy and like holding space, right? Like, I think like, so I just picked up the zine actually, and it has this really good quote in it, where is the rage of the oppressed is never the same as the rage of the privileged. And I think that's the intentional difference, because the rage of the oppressed, it comes from a place of love and love for freedom, and intentionally like, this is the place that we're trying to get to. But the other part, it doesn't have a base. We're angry about these things, and I love that. I love that white people are angry, but think about where that's coming from and what your goal is with it, right? Think about being open in your rage, because your rage has to come from love. Love comes from understanding, and openness. And like, there's kind of just like, I feel like there's like a necessity in this moment to meet this moment really with a more productive form of rage, like a rage that comes from love, not just hate. I'm not going to just hate the other side, but I will say that you will bear the consequences of your actions and your hatred. I will say that, you know, it's not just, love is not just peace. I think we've come to understand peace in this day and age or whatever. Like in the Western world, peace is avoidance. But true peace is when you know yourself and you know what's right, and you are committed to making your world reflect that. And that's where the rage comes in, because when it's not going right, we have to do something about it. So yeah, I don't remember the original question.
To be fair, I'm not even sure I do, because I was thinking to myself, both what you have said is, really quite profound and also really important, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
Because there is an awful lot of hate and anger and words said about this, that, or the other. So as a band, if you're carrying a more peaceful message through your music, through what you're doing, I think that is the most important thing that can be done.
Yeah,
Now,
but sometimes peace requires rage.
it does. Of
Yeah.
course it does.
In that
So,
way. That's what I was trying to get to.
yeah. Now, I do want to sorry, punk has always been, about rebellion and resistance, and we've discussed quite a lot of that already, actually. So I'm worried this is going to be a bit of a repeat question because we've touched on so much already. But in 2025, what do you think modern punk rock and, Pinkshift as well, are carrying the torch for? I mean, do you feel that you're taking something forward from the predecessors in this world?
Yeah. I mean, I think that we modern punk rock. I think punk has always come from a place of like what I said, like the
Yeah.
rage of the oppressed, being different, and like very powerful. And that's where punk has always come from, even though sometimes because of the place that we live in and the world that we live in, a lot of Black and brown musicians and artists in the punk space are not given the same kind of credit. Um, as much, I mean, obviously that has changed a little bit. Um, but punk has to, and I think it is, I think this is generally what is happening, coming to a place of understanding where your rage comes from and committing to it. Um, so we're not just like mad for shits and giggles. We're not mad because it feels good. Because being mad feels good, You're just like, yeah, I'm fucking pissed. But we're mad because we need to change something about what's happening. We need to introduce the things that are uncomfortable. That's what punk's about. Making people who feel comfort in avoidance, making them uncomfortable because they can't avoid things, making the issues unavoidable. Um, being loud, being unapologetic, and being restorative in that process. It's all about community. I think punk is really about community. It still is about community. Um, and to being in community requires a lot of patience and understanding and learning and openness to learning. Um, like, hey, you upset me. I'm upset now. I'm not going to talk to you about it because I'm upset now. That's not punk.
No.
I think that's something that maybe is like a hurdle that always needs to be like addressed. Is that we have to really come from a place of understanding with each other. Community means community. Your community is going to piss you off. Your friends are going to piss you off. Do you drop them because of it? Because of these like because you using therapy speak to like avoid things. We're not avoiding things anymore. We are addressing them head on. I think that's what punk's about. We're addressing them head on and we're addressing them as a community, in a restorative way.
Cool. Now I've just got one more question before I try and move on to a few that I have that I like to call the fun questions because this has been quite intense in a good way, just for the record.
Sorry, yeah.
No, please, like this is one of the reasons I wanted to chat to you guys because I knew there was an intensity to it. Now, you're going out on tour, as you've already said. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe you're coming to the UK as well. Am I right in that? I've not got myself
Yes.
good.
In
I felt like
Yeah.
February.
I'd got myself mixed up with someone. I've done so many interviews recently. So you talk about loving to travel and see parts of nature. Is there somewhere in the UK that, from a nature perspective, that you would love to see, love to try and make time for?
I don't know. I don't know
I
much
was
about the
gonna
UK.
say, I'm not sure either. If you have recommendations,
Oh,
that'd be
you've
great.
put me on the
I do
spot now.
remember the one time we played in Glasgow. We just seeing the scenery on the drive from Manchester to Glasgow. It was beautiful. We had a couple rest stops and we just like stayed watching the scenery. But honestly, I'm personally very unfamiliar with
Yeah, if you have any
yeah.
recommendations,
I'm
generally,
trying to
whenever
think now. I was about to say I've got the perfect place, and I realised it's when I went over to Ireland to visit family. So it's not even in the UK. But you've put me on the spot, and now I'm going to try and think of somewhere to recommend to you.
I'm
But
really
one thing
excited to see Switzerland.
that'll be beautiful. What is it about
Yeah.
Switzerland that's drawn you so much?
Well, so I grew up watching Bollywood movies, and whenever they have like the dream sequence, it's always in Switzerland. Like they filmed it in Switzerland, and it's
Really?
like the dreamy like love song where they're like in the wind, and there's like the beautiful mountains, and there's like the greenery. It's like they always filmed that in Switzerland. Like Bollywood's like famous for that.
You've taught me something now. I never knew that at all. So
Yeah.
I'm desperately trying to think of one, so I'm gonna move on to some of the fun questions while we've got a little bit of time. If you could collaborate with absolutely anyone on the planet, living or dead, so any musician, any artist, they could do your album cover art, for example, who would you love to work with?
Wow.
I feel like that's so expansive.
It can be.
I've been thinking about this though, but it's like not like dead or alive, but like literally, like I really want to collaborate with Pink Pantheress.
With who, sorry?
Pink Pantheress.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't catch you there. Yeah.
Yeah. Something more like the last song on our record. It was completely just inspired to listening to like her entire. It was inspired by listening to her entire discography on repeat. Like the melody I came up with, like that was her. Like I would love to collaborate with her.
Paul, you must have someone.
I'm like trying to think of like as soon as you said album cover, I was thinking outside of music at this point. And I feel like Ashrita would have a really good person for maybe like a specific dancer or choreo dancer that could like do something in that realm. But if I have to just go on a complete random limb, um there's a very um famous Peruvian chef called Gaston Curio, I think is his last name. I have to like
Chef.
double check it. What is it? Okay, I'm gonna look up his name because I don't want to absolutely butcher that. Um,
While Paul's looking it up, I have remembered a place that I would love to recommend to
Ooh,
you.
I will write
So
it down.
it's a place called Puzzle Wood. Now, I can't remember
Puzzlewood.
exactly where it is in the UK. Now, you might work out I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan by that thing behind me, but it's where
Yeah.
they filmed some of Star Wars, Return of the
Whoa.
Jedi. So you can just
Our camp would go
kind of
crazy
get
for
that
that.
kind of vibe from it.
um, I've looked up his name. It is Gaston Acurio, basically. And I think I don't think he is alive anymore. He may he no, I think he still is. But maybe just like an Earthkeeper tasting, an Earthkeeper Peruvian tasting little like menu.
Oh,
Um,
like a menu based on the album?
yeah.
That's crazy.
I like the outside of the box thinking. I think the reason I allowed a bit more outside the box is because over time I've asked this question. People have always gone, does it have to be a musician we work with? I'm like, no, that could be anyone.
Yeah.
So I might have opened it up a little bit too much for you guys, but then I do like the idea of yeah, a Pinkshift Earthkeeper meal thing going on. That sounds
Yeah,
pretty
right?
awesome.
I never would have thought of that.
Well, guys, I do want to thank you so much for chatting to us today. Earthkeeper is an absolutely fantastic record. I can't actually remember the name of the opening song, but that one is an absolute banger and
Thank
captivated me
you.
right from the beginning. So hopefully I'll be coming to see you when you come to the UK. I will be trying my luck on that. And
Yeah.
hopefully you get a chance to see some of the UK's beauty. Thank you so
Well,
much,
what
guys.
part of the UK are you in?
I'm in London,
Oh, okay.
so
Hopefully we'll catch you.
hopefully, fingers
Yeah.
crossed. I'm always trying to come to all the gigs I possibly can.
Hell
But
yeah.
guys, take care. Keep Earthkeeper going. It's an amazing record. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
See you later, guys. Bye.